Item number 17, discuss and if necessary, take action on addition to board rules to add 3007 notices to all meeting notices to prevent open carry meetings and verbally enforced on site by meeting by chair. 8 under that says discuss and if necessary take action to include proper posting of notices at all entrances to Glen Medical Center buildings, which I think we've actually already done that. And I was thinking on that item A, what you and I discussed was here's the deal. Hospitals are automatically on that list and we already have signs up. But the Citizen Center is an oddity. The county owns the building, but the county doesn't run the building. The Citizen Center does not have an elected board of directors, so there's nobody, I was on the board down there for years, there's nobody that can say we're putting signs up. And so the county can't put signs up and the center can't put signs up. I think what we should do would be have us some portable signs made, similar to what we have, or exactly like what we have posted on the doors, that no matter where we had our meetings, we could take the signs. If we take action to have the 3007 or 3006 or whatever, any building that we occupy while we're in charge of that building, while we have it rented, we're in control of that building and we can put up our signs. We would just have to take them down when we left. And that was my intention, to follow up on that and make it that way. Is that what you wanted?
I thought that my understanding is, and it differs slightly from yours, is that if it's a public building owned by a public entity, other than I think the school and the hospital, that they can't prevent open carry in those buildings. But if it was a privately owned business, that business owner could say, we're not allowing those weapons here, and ask people to not have them.
Well, it's automatically understood that any sort of governmental meeting, you can't take firearms into, period, whether they're concealed or open. But I just thought if there were people concerned about it, you know, I have no problem with us having some portable signs made up. And if we're in control of that building, if we take action on that, we can prevent people from carrying guns to our meetings, just like the county has done. Now, do I think that's being contested in court as we speak right now? Absolutely. But until then, I think we make up signs, they'll do it. My fear is if there is people concerned about people bringing guns, just because if we put them on our posted agendas does not necessarily mean that people are notified that they can't carry the guns. I think we have to have the signage up to accomplish that.
You're talking about guns now. We're only talking about open carry.
Right.
You can carry a concealed gun.
Not to a governmental meeting or to a hospital or to a school. Or to, no, there's a huge list of places you can.
I thought 273.
According to Kevin, our attorney, you can carry. Help me on this, Michael. You're the expert here.
The way is that the hospitals are listed on there that they have, you can opt out of 30-06, which is a concealed carry. We can choose to, we're not automatic. 30-07, anybody can kind of opt in or opt out on whether if you have a business or whatever. 30-06 gets a little more. The question is, in the letter that Kevin put out, is that if it is off premises from our building, therefore 30-06 is non-applicable. Now, the governmental meeting side to it could be a little different.
Right.
But in other words, 30-06, we could not post at Therapy across the street. We couldn't post it at Pecan because it is off of our premises.
Right.
It's a building off. But 30-07, we can opt in or out of depending on where we're at.
As long as we meet here, I think it's, once the board meets here, it's not an issue because we have postings at all of our entrances.
I don't know, after May, I don't care what y'all do.
We'll try to follow the same rule.
But I'm just saying, I'm not opposed to whatever y'all's decision is about this. I don't really care either way.
So did the attorney agree with what Torch says here in their recommendation here?
Yes, because Kevin's the one that sends that.
Yeah.
Front Torch.
Front Torch.
Right.
So what they're saying here is they're saying prohibits governmental entities from posting signs prohibiting guns unless another law prohibits guns at that specific location. It means that if a governmental hospital cannot prohibit concealed carrying or open carrying of handguns at its off-site campus facilities.
Well, I'll tell you, I spent about an hour talking to Danny Chambers about this, and he said, we've called lawyers, we've called
Okay.
the municipal league, we've called, and he said, if we could put signs up, he said, the only complaint we've had in Somervell County was at the Republican meeting at the Citizen Center. And he said, you know, I don't know what y'all ought to do. And I said, well, I think we'll just take signs up and put them up when we go down there, and we'll take them down. But I think, and Ron, you're the lawyer here, I'm not, but after looking into this, I believe
But
it's
I'm
in
not
the
getting paid to represent the board, so.
Okay. I think in the code 45.06 says you can't take guns into governmental meetings where they're having discussions, because I know it hadn't happened in a
Yeah.
while, but there has been some hard feelings at some of these hospital board meetings. So anyway.
That particular question wasn't posed as that to Kevin, was it? Or?
I'm
not
not
that
talking
particular
to Kevin
question.
on it,
Mm-mm.
about this, I've just copied.
Yeah, if we're having a meeting, I mean, he talks about here in institutions of higher learning and stuff, but,
Yeah.
you know, and, I mean, we are, if we go down to the Citizen Center, we're leasing that for that one evening, and I'm just wondering if we are absolutely allowed to post signs just while we're there. I would ask that question.
I don't know, I asked Danny, I said, after the question came up, I said, so y'all put them on all the government meetings, because I saw online where y'all put them on, like at the annex and the courthouse and blah, blah, blah. And he said, every building we have, except for the Citizen Center. He said, because we
Because-
don't
right.
operate the
Right.
business, and
Right.
he said it was just an oddity, and he said, we're
Right.
trying to figure out how to do it, and he said, that's the only complaint we've had, and I said, well, I think we'll just make up our own signs and put them down there, and he said, do it, and he said, worst things have happened, somebody
Can
would
I ask
grab
something?
them.
What about if we're renting the main part and somebody's renting the back room, do we put up signs?
We rent the whole thing when we do it.
We did, okay, just curious, because I know
Some,
they rent both.
I'll be real honest, sometimes, now that we do our,
Some of the tax season in the back room.
yeah, when we do our deal where we, sign the doctors off, what's that called? Credentialing.
Oh,
When
yeah.
we do credentialing, when we go in executive session, we take the Pluxee room.
Yeah.
But now that we do that quarterly, if we were having meetings down there, I would call them and say, we're not having credentialing in January and February, we're gonna do that again in March. So that if they want to lease that building out to somebody besides us, and since I don't have anything reserved down there now, but used to, that's kind of what I did. I'd go in and say, okay, here's gonna be for the next 6 months, here's when our meetings are gonna be. And when we're doing credentialing, we automatically needed them. And then, like the week before, I would check with Canada and see if we were gonna have credentialing for them or not. It wasn't such a big deal like in February, but during the summer, there'd maybe be people that wanted to have, you know, baby showers, wedding showers, and they didn't need the whole room, they just needed the back room, or,
About tax season they use.
yeah, and that, I mean, they have it there, but I mean, if we're not gonna use it, let them rent it out and have something else going. All right, so is anybody making a motion, or are we just discussing this? The action item actually says that we are just gonna put it on the bottom of our agenda items, on the bottom of our posted agendas, but
I'm not sure what that does for us.
Yeah.
I'm just reading this thing, it says open carry. Now, that mean, you just telling me it's concealed guns also?
No,
No.
you can,
You can
Well, I
carry
started saying,
concealed
this,
guns,
all
can't you?
all this is worded for is 3007.
yeah.
right,
Not
Okay,
3007.
that's all it's talking about, is the open carry.
that's good.
And I agree that the posting it on the meeting notice doesn't comply with law. I mean, you're giving somebody notice, but that's not what, the law
Right.
says it has to be posted on the
Right.
entrance. So,
No, and that's why I said maybe us actually have a sign.
Now, a private business owner, even if they don't have a sign, if somebody comes in with an open carry, they can ask them to take it out.
Absolutely, just verbally, they can ask them to
Or
leave.
they can hand them,
Right.
something in writing or
Open
verbal.
carry alone.
Right,
Right, right,
right,
Yeah, all right.
written or verbal.
yeah.
Either way. But that's a private
I
business.
it just seems to me that it's an exercise in futility to put it on the notice. I think the sign is what needs to be done, and forget about putting it on the notice.
I see no problem with also putting it on the notice. Was
Well,
that a motion you made?
No, I'm not saying it. I'm just saying I don't think you're
Right,
actually doing much, but,
yeah,
no, somebody else make the motion.
okay. So Paul, this was your baby.
I'm not making a motion.
Really? Okay. So is this gonna die for lack of a motion? Is this something we wanna think about and maybe take action on it?
If you'd like for me to contact our attorney regarding the Citizen Center and the posting there, I'd be happy to do that, if you want me to do that.
I'd like to see that.
And ask him about Senate Bill 273, because I think that's the thing that I have an issue with, that I believe allows that now.
Well, just out of curiosity, Paul and I had a discussion on
Yeah,
Facebook.
that's discussed, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt really, but at the bottom of the first page under off-campus facilities, he addresses Senate Bill 232. You said 273, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
Well, Paul and I had a pretty heated discussion about open carry. Raise your hand if you've seen somebody open carrying since the law went into effect.
Said what?
Anybody, raise your hand if you've seen an open carry person.
I don't think I've seen one.
And I,
Okay.
Not in this state.
Yeah.
Did you see one?
Yeah, at a restaurant.
Okay, so she saw one. Anybody else?
I saw one in Arizona.
I'm talking about Texas.
I wasn't Abilene.
I'm being more specific. I want to say
That's the old.
I'll tell y'all a funny aside to
Question
this.
other people too. They haven't seen one.
Our older son moved to Colorado about 9 or 10 years ago. Colorado is open carry with no restrictions. Anybody that wants a gun can have 2 or 3 of them strapped on, no big deal. I've spent weeks in Colorado. I counted up the other day, 27 weeks in the past 9 years. I've seen a grand total of 3 guns. And one of them was a guy taking us on a trail ride. And he said, I just have this in case there's a mountain lion or a bear or something. I said, oh really, what's a mountain lion or a bear? And he said, no, I ain't never seen one, but I carried it anyway. I saw one guy, I believe was an undercover policeman. And I saw one guy that I think was really actually open and carrying. And every year when we go up, we spend a week in a different part of Colorado. So, I mean, we've been north, east, south, west, all over, and I can't find it.
You didn't go to the right restaurant. There's a restaurant somewhere, Pueblo?
No,
Not
it's
sure.
in Rifle, Colorado,
Rifle, okay.
and I have been
They
there.
encourage people to.
I have been there,
Waitresses.
but the only people I saw carrying there were waitresses, and knew it's part of the dress code.